afternoon hours to take a short power nap of like 20 to 30 minutes. That's helpful for a lot of people. The morning time meditation is something that is there in order to orient your direction for the day. So each one has its role. From a Vedic perspective, the midday meditation before you have lunch is considered the most important. Then second most important is considered the evening, and third most the morning. This little, you may not find it as intuitive, but this is the Vedic perspective. So another element besides deep relaxation is you have to be active within your capacity. We come into this body to fulfill the cosmic purpose, God's purpose, so we have to be active, but within capacity. You don't have to hurry to do things. Everything in smooth, easy flow, whatever needs to be done within your capacity. So, and of course, with age, things change. My mother now is 95 years old. Till the age of 92, she was cooking every day. Now she doesn't cook anymore, but she decides she's going to decide what she's going to have each day. So in the morning when she wakes up after having her cup of coffee, she will get out all the vegetables that need to be cut for the day, and what menu is going to happen the day, she will decide, and she'll cut all the vegetable and keep it. So that is within her capacity. And so each within our own capacity, we need to figure out, we need to be active without having the sense, I have to do. You should never have in your mind, I have to do. What you should think about it, let it be done. If it is meant to be, let it be done. Don't force yourself. Okay? So the thing is, if you practice this kind of a lifestyle where you make sure the sleep, spine, breath, attitude, diet are in good place, and you have making sure you have periods of deep relaxation once or twice or thrice a day, then in which case, automatically, whatever may have been the health issues that came on to you from bad lifestyle in the past, stress during your work lifestyle and family, when your children were growing up and all of that, slowly they will begin to heal by themselves. In some cases, when they don't heal, then in which case we can always, consult with you and give you targeted practice for specific ailments. This is the reason we have on a daily basis, every day of the week, including Diwali and Christmas, there is no exception. Every day morning, your time, it is 6 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. is a morning yoga class. And it is done by Zoom online. Anybody can participate, free for all. The second one is in the evening time, 4:30 to 6. So all of you, and the 4:30 to 6 is better for most retired people because all chair-based yoga. You don't need to be able to sit on the floor or anything. The morning is a mat-based yoga. So keeping that regular practice alone can take most of your problems. After that, if you need help, you can always contact us. And locally, Abhay Jain and Sushma Mahajan, both of them are over here. And there is Hema Chandrasekhar over there. So these are all the people whom you can contact, and they can tell you what to do. And we have a process of doing that. So now, let's go on. Given that I've already spent 37 minutes of that out of the 2 hours, I'm going to integrate the practices as we go along. So some of those mics are on over there, right? If any of the mics are on, right from here, I can speak and we can do the practices as we go along. Is this good?
Rajanji, let them give you the.
Oh, okay. So from here, if I speak, you can hear me, right? Oh, that means my hands, one hand, I will need to have those. That will be better. Okay. Yes.
Have this one.
Okay. Thank you. So the first thing we are going to talk about is spinal alignment. And those of you, you can all hear me in the back, right? No, I'll speak from here till the mic comes. Okay. So this in spinal alignment, those of you who have been exposed to yoga, the Hatha Yoga that you do, many of you know you do Surya Namaskar, right? Surya Namaskar combines with it many asana practices. But Surya Namaskar, the way it is done is only for warm up. But when you do it as an asana practice, the elements are much, much stronger and better for your health. Like, for example, one element is the Bhujangasana, where you do lift up the head, pull back. What is it happening? You're bending your spine backward, right? Then there is the other thing where you lift up the leg behind, the Shalabhasana, that works on your lower back, right? Now, if we think in terms of the other elements that are done in Surya Namaskar, you're actually also bending forward down, so the front bending is also there, right? Now, front bending as you age, you need to be extremely careful, because what happens is within the body anatomically, there are more muscles and connective tissues that are holding you when you lean backward. But when you lean forward, it's not the same element and same number of those connective tissues. But on the other hand, what happens is with aging process, if any of them have become a little worn out or whatever, there is a chance that a disc can pop out. And the other thing very often a lot of people have is the osteoporosis or osteopenia, with the bones leaching and the vertebral column becoming slightly less healthy, and the discs in between drying up and then breaking up, and all these things people have. So this is the reason bending forward, you have to be very careful. I always tell people, don't round your back and bend forward. Keep your chin up and only lean forward from the hips, but don't bend your back. The two places which are very common for people for this disc prolapse is the first, most common is the lumbar area. Second is the cervical neck area. So these are two places. You don't want to bring your chin down too much, and you don't want to round your back like this over here in the back. So these, if we avoid them, so in conventional yoga practice, you're doing like Bhujangasana upward, backward, you do Shalabhasana, right? And the other side, when you're twisting, you do practices like Ardha Matsyendra, right? So you're effectively toning the spine. Now that you're toning the spine this way, the same thing can be done in chair-based. I'll go and show up there. Oh, thank you. Hear me? Everybody hear me? Right, okay. So I'm going to. Okay, it'll stay there. Okay. So when we are going to do spinal alignment, we can do it in a very easy way. Now, all of you are sitting in a chair with arms over there. That makes it slightly easy. But you can always twist like this, and you can go back this way. But the one thing I would suggest is that some of you, even this twisting, can put you in slight risk if there is any degeneration in your back, any problem. The easiest way to keep it as mildest as possible is bring your hands behind your lowermost ribs. So you take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, twist as much to the right as possible. Don't push yourself, only to the point where you can comfortably turn. Inhale, come back. Exhale, twist the other way. Inhale, come back. So this became the sideward twist where we did on both sides. The third breath, inhale, make the backward arch. Exhale, come forward. Next, this thing as you exhale will be, you bring the chin down. Exhale, chin down. Now, the same thing, one of the things that has been recognized is the power of vibrations. In fact, everything we do in higher meditative practice is vibration. In what way does vibration run in your body? The moment you think, it is vibration running into you. When you do singing, that is of course audio frequency. When you do loud chanting, that is all like we did Om little while back. All of that is audio frequency. However, that has vibration. Now, silent vibration, like you do silent mantra japa. So that is vibration. So a lot of the connections work with vibration. If along with breath and motion, if you can integrate vibration, it is much more powerful. Okay? So let's try it with vibration and see how you feel different. We take a deep breath in, and as we exhale and turn to the right, we do the sound ah kind of thing, right? Let's take a deep breath in, to the right together. Come back to the middle. Take a deep breath in, again to the left. Inhale, come back, keep the eyes closed and observe within. And now we go backward. Come back. Now, as we exhale with chin down, we don't do ah, we do like Brahmari, ma, makar. So what you have done is, in this process, when you repeat it multiple times, you have the effect of gently stimulating your spine. Now, of course, we are largely, while we sit like this, we are focused on the upper spine. But we also need to work with lower spine. Now, when we work with lower spine, again, we have to be careful about capacity of each person, right? So the lower spine, you can understand, is connected with the hips. And a lot of you, as you age, you need to be careful with the hips. When I travel, I always wear my waist protection, this thing, because the bags I carry can be heavy and all of that, and we don't want to create an unwanted thing. It is only a safety precaution, right? So with the hips are also connected with the legs, knees, foot, everything. So a good way in which to work with the lower spine, you can start by stimulating the ankles, the legs, all of them. Very often in our practice, what we do is we do it along with Ujjayi Pranayam, because Ujjayi Pranayam actually stimulates the peripheral nervous system. So let's first practice Ujjayi Pranayam and see how you feel. Many of you might have seen in various yoga schools, they make a noise when they do the Ujjayi Pranayam, right? That is not something we consider as the appropriate Ujjayi Pranayam. In fact, the requirement from the Yoga Sutra of any practice done, there can be no strain whatsoever in what you do. So it has to be done with ease. And what is the main purpose of it? Is to stimulate in the lowermost part of the mouth, the vocal cords. When you stimulate in that area, from a physiological sense, there is an anatomical sense, there is the vagus nerve that is passing through over there. In fact, what it is the other connection there that terminates over there is that of the glossopharyngeal nerve. These are two of the cranial nerves. So when we do Ujjayi pranayam, we're trying to, what we do is we stretch the vocal cord, and as we inhale and exhale in slow, deep breath, we feel like the air is rubbing along the stretch. So let's practice that together. And this is a very effective practice that can help you in many different ways. We'll talk more about it. So if you don't know how to stretch your vocal cords, easy way to do it is make a big smile. And bring your lips together, close your lips. You feel a slight stretch, not a very big stretch, slight stretch. So focus on the slight stretch and inhale and exhale in slow, deep breath. And keep your eyes closed and see if you can feel like the air is rubbing along the stretch, rubbing along the stretch you feel there. Okay, please keep doing. There are certain people, you are one of them. I'll come by and I'll make sure you're doing it properly. Okay, so please continue. Don't let your chin drop. Keep it, continue doing. Close your eyes. Big smile. Feel. Yeah, you're fine. I'm talking to him. Yeah, keep the chin up. Chin dropping does not help. Okay. It's not working right for you. Make the breath long. Make a big smile. Feel the stretch. Keep the head straight, not backward. Yeah. Inhale, close eyes. That is much better. It's not working for you. So, yes, just close your mouth, make a big smile. Hmm. Can you feel slight stretch? Close your eyes, inhale and exhale. Close the mouth. अब मुंह बंद कीजिए और हंसमुख बन जाइए और लंबी सांस लीजिए. Okay. Most of you can feel the deep silence within and the awareness within. In fact, this pranayama is perhaps the most important pranayama to slowly build self-awareness within. And so now let's go on to the next one that we are talking about. So we were about spinal alignment, right? So as we were doing about spinal alignment for the lower part of the body, we can even start from the higher part, where even as you are doing all of this, you want to loosen. So to loosen, what you can do, as you inhale in Ujjayi, you can lift up the shoulders, exhale, rotate it back and slowly bring it down. And so it is easy and it has multiple benefits. Now there are so many other motions you can do. You can go inhale like this and exhale, come back this way. You can make a fist like this, bring it into the chest, bend at the wrist, and as you inhale, go like this. And exhale like this. So you can see along with Ujjayi, you can be doing aspects of loosening the spine alignment. Now, when we are getting to the lower parts of the body, we want to again stimulate, and you can do it with Ujjayi. As you inhale, lift up the knee, bring it towards you, and as you exhale, stretch out the leg and bring it down. Inhale and exhale. You can immediately feel how you're loosening the knees. Now, the same way, what you can do is stretch out your legs onto the floor, and as you inhale, point out the toes, exhale, relax. Inhale, point out the toes, exhale, relax. You can do this in Ujjayi. Now, same way, as you inhale, push out the heel and exhale, relax. See how you're working with each part as you're inhaling and exhaling. And what you will begin to realize is, as you loosen the muscles in the legs and the communication there, the nerves become better communicating, it also has a positive impact on the hips. Now, if you want to build more exercises that are helpful for the hips, the best way is, and it's a little more difficult, so be very careful. And I think some of you being exactly behind each other, you may not be able to do it, so don't worry. So that is, you lift up the leg and go in big circles like this. If you go in big circles like this, you will find it has good impact towards your hips. And you do the same thing with the other leg, and then you go the opposite direction as well. Now, we can all, to continue this hip-related thing, we can all stand up. And you can be right where you are. And bring your hands to your hips. And as you inhale and exhale, you can go around your hips. After doing enough times in one direction, you can go in the other direction. Inhale and exhale. We should never hurry in any yoga practice. Try to make the breath long and easy, smooth flowing. Now, we can even do practices to loosen the hips further. This is a lot more difficult for everyone. And so when it is difficult, you have to be a lot more cautious. You want to keep the feet shoulder width apart or even wider, inside of the feet parallel to each other. And if you bring your hands to your hips, as you inhale, push on one hand and make a backward arch in that direction. Exhale, relax, come up. Inhale, push on the other side. Exhale, come back up. In the typical Hatha Yoga postures, you're expected to hold a position for at least 1.5 minutes. But on the other hand, this system of practice is called Prana Kriya, and it comes from a certain discipline that is related to how pujas and things are called. And the term used for it is something you may not like. It is called Tantra Yoga. The practice is called Prana Kriya. And what happened was, a person who came from the Hatha Yoga background one day found you can also work like this. So the person thought they had found something new, and this person gave it a name called, many of you might have heard the name, this Vinyas Yoga. No, leave that as it is. Yeah, you don't need to move anything. I have enough space here. Oh, okay. I can come over here. So if that makes it easier for you. Yeah. So so these are all various ways in which we can stimulate. Now, we also need some flexibility for the hips too. But again, it has to be within your capacity. And a lot of you may not be able to do it. And also the chair, the way they are, you will need to get out to the side to do it. Is if you're going to bend forward, never bend the back. Up from here, don't bend it. So keep the chin up and hold your arms or your elbows behind you. And as you exhale, you lean forward like this. Chin up, chin up. Your shoulder is coming down. Shoulder cannot bend. Shoulder has to be pulled back. This will create a problem. No, no. You cannot do this. Don't do this. This will create problems for you. Okay? So, yes, that is perfect. So that is the way you want to lean. Keep the shoulder pulled back. Keep the shoulder pulled back and lean forward to one turn. Vijay, up, chin up. Yeah, lean forward as you lean forward, chin up. Yes, that's good enough. You see, it's all about stimulating. It's not about attaining. You don't have to be able to come right down. Just enough stimulation. If the shoulder bends, you have a problem. Something here, as you age, can pop out. Bad idea. You don't want to risk anything like that. So keep the shoulder pulled back all the time as you lean forward. And even if you lean forward 5 degrees, 10 degrees, that's sufficient. Whatever will stimulate you. Right? Okay, so these are all ways we do the spinal alignment, and we can combine it with Ujjayi also, which you have experienced. Now the next one is Bhastrika Pranayam. You please take a seat. All of you know about the alternate nostril breathing, right? It balances the 2 hemispheres of the brain, so it anchors you well. So that is a great way to practice to do. But then now the Bhastrika Pranayam is simply deep breathing. It's very interesting. Many schools of yoga do it very rapidly and fast. You might have seen it. And that is not recommended as per the principles of the Yoga Sutra. In fact, the Hatha Yoga Pradipika, when it describes the Bhasrika Pranayam, it actually describes it. I'll be over here so you can see better. It describes it as breathing like a bhastra. Bhastra is bellows, right? If any of you have seen how a blacksmith operates the bellows, they never go like this. If they do that, the air flowing through is going to make the flame completely, destabilized. The way they do it is, if you have watched, they lift like this and they'll come like this, right? So that is the motion by which we have to do, and that's how it is described. So a good way to begin generally in breathing practice is first by breathing out. So pull back the shoulders. When I say pull back the shoulders, you can pull it back whichever way is comfortable. If your hands are not this thing, you can just do this. But if you feel comfortable, you can lift up the palms like this and exhale. And when you exhale, close the fist. Inhale. Exhale. Continue. Inhale. Exhale. As you inhale, think of all the right things you need coming inside you, and exhale, feel all unwanted stuff going out of you. Mentally think that. Exhale. 6, inhale. Exhale. Keep the eyes closed. 7, inhale. Exhale. 8. Exhale. 9. Exhale. 10. Exhale. 11. Exhale. 12. Exhale. 30. Exhale. 40. Exhale. 50. Exhale. 60. Exhale. 70. Exhale. 80. Exhale. 90. Exhale. 20. Exhale. Close your eyes and observe with it. Some of you may feel slight sensation in the head, which is okay. Just keep watching. In conventional practice of Bhasrika, the Hatha Yoga Pradipika, the textbook, what it says is, after you do 20 breaths of Bhasrika, you take a deep breath in, you close the right nostril and exhale to the left. That is the textbook Bhasrika. Okay? Now, the aspect about you take a deep breath in and you hold the breath and exhale through the left nostril. When you hold the breath, what happens is, because you're breathing more than you normally breathe, there is more oxygen coming inside you. And so that can result in what is called respiratory alkalosis. That means the blood in your body becomes more alkaline. And If it becomes too alkaline because of the oxygen going in, the buffering system in your body becomes saturated and finally you'll pass out, you'll faint. So the thing is, in this practice of Bhasrika, in the end, when you take a deep breath and hold the breath, it again, what it does is it gives the oxygen to get used up, right? And so then you close the right nostril, exhale through the left, then you won't feel any sensation in the head, right? So those are, and there are different ways in which we do. There is a practice called Ujjayi Kumbhaka. The Ujjayi Kumbhaka, you interlock your hands, keep it at your waist, and as you inhale with the Ujjayi breath, like with the happy face smile, then keep the chin down and hold the breath. When you're ready to exhale, exhale in between the teeth. I'll show you. As you exhale in between the teeth, slowly you bring the hands down. So just for practice, everybody can do one more time together. Excellent. Now, let's go on to one more round of Bhasrika. You felt good with the Bhasrika, right? So let's do one more round of Bhasrika. So pull back the shoulders, exhale. Inhale, exhale. 2, exhale. 3, exhale. 4, exhale. 5, exhale. 6, exhale. 7, exhale. 8, exhale. 9, exhale. 10, exhale. 11, exhale. 12, exhale. 30, exhale. 40, exhale. 50, exhale. 60, exhale. 70, exhale. 80, exhale. 90, exhale. 20, exhale. Ujjayi Kumbhaka, followed by, we'll do Brahmari. So do the Ujjayi Kumbhaka. Many of you know the Bhramari pranayam. Try the Bhramari, take a deep breath in and go. Hmm. Now let's do it with the mudra. Use the thumb to close the ears. That is the most important thing. All the others you can do in multiple ways. Typical Shanmukhi mudra is you bring the middle finger over the eyelids, the index finger over the eyebrows, the ring finger over the upper part of the nostrils to provide slight compression there, and the little finger over the mouth. Take a deep breath in. Excellent. The okay. Okay, you can stop after the last breath. Okay. Now, these are practices of what we have seen related to the spinal alignment, Ujjayi pranayam, this bhastrika, the alternate nostril breathing. All of these you have come across in many different places. I'm going to share a little bit about alternate nostril breathing. Some of you may already know or may not know. Is there are typically most of the time people hold this thing like this to do the alternate nostril breathing, right? Now, I don't know any of you have seen, some people do this. Anybody seen that? They do that because there is a specific way of doing things that increases the power of the alternate nostril breathing. When you inhale from the left nostril, you want to visualize it going under the right eye, curving around and going right to the middle of the forehead, right on the hairline over there. And as you exhale through the right nostril, you want to visualize it coming under the left eye and going out of the right nostril. So the people, when they keep it like this, they do that for that attention. Now, if you can visualize it, whether you keep the finger there or not doesn't matter. Okay? You can keep the finger anywhere. In fact, the mudra is not even important. Some people I have seen what they do is they use the right thumb to close the right nostril and the left thumb to close the left nostril. The key part is to be able to focus right over here. When you inhale and exhale, the thing moving, that increases the power of the alternate nostril breathing. The alternate nostril breathing in the Hatha Yoga tradition is actually called Nadi Shodhana. The Anulom Vilom Pranayam that comes in, it comes actually from the Puja and Tantra tradition. And it is nowhere in the textbook that we have seen. Okay? So Nadi Shodhana is the more Hatha Yoga textbook term, and so whichever way. Okay. Now, all of you just sit up straight, close your eyes, and observe how you're feeling. Observe how the head feels. Come down from behind the eyes, ears, nose, down the throat. Observe your shoulders. Observe how the arms are feeling all the way down to the hands and the fingertips. Observe along the trunk of the body, along the spine, along the waist, going down and going down both the legs, your knees, your feet, all the way down. You can see how you feel over there. Now we are going to do this special practice called chakra vibration, which is not done by most yoga schools. Okay? And I want you to see the difference for yourself once we have done the chakra vibration. Okay? So I will explain the methodology of chakra vibration. By the way, some of you here who are not so, senior as some of the more senior people, if you are in good shape and you want to lead these yoga sessions, please raise your hand and we can have you, be part of our yoga leading team. We do every day, morning and evening. And the thing is, if you can lead a session over Zoom on any one of the days or 2 days a week or whatever, we like more volunteers to take that. You will be a good teacher. So anyway, so now I'm looking at you. You don't have to tell. Yes? Yes. Okay. So the thing is now, let's continue. We are going to do this chakra vibration. When we do the chakra vibration, we are going to visualize along the middle of the body 7 points. And what are the 7 points? Right at the perineum. And where is the perineum? It is in between the tailbone and the genital area, right in the middle. Actually, it's between the tailbone and the anus, right in the middle. So if you squeeze your buttocks, you can feel that area. That is where the perineum is. Okay? So along the middle of the body, the next place you want to feel is right in front of the sacrum bone, behind the pubic area, 1 inch above the perineum. Next is behind the navel in the middle of the body. Next, in between the breasts, in the middle of the chest. And next is the throat, then the middle of the head. And where is the middle of the head? If you take your finger right to the sides of the eyes and slowly slide it till it hits the ear, where the 2 fingers are pointing, that is where you want to focus, in the middle of the head. And then the top right of the head, right over there. So these are the 7 points we will focus on one by one, and in each one we will do a different sound vibration. And we will keep vibrating it till your chakras are clear. Now, some of our yogi teachers, and in time it will come, you will be able to sense when the chakras are clear or not. And what is the signal for the chakra to be clear? Like, for example, in the lowermost chakra, it is called the Muladhara, right? There we do with the sound lam. When we do the sound lam, and by the way, this is not silent mantra, this is audible mantra, okay? When we do the sound lam, and at the same time you squeeze the perineum, lam, you will feel the vibration rise upward. If you keep repeating it many, many times, the vibration will begin to resonate upward and upward and upward and upward. And finally, after many repetitions, you will feel it coming out to the top of the head. When you feel it coming out to the top of the head, that is when the chakra is completely clear. I'll explain a little bit more why clearing the chakra is important. But for now, within the time, we could probably spend a whole day talking about all of these, but within the time, let's focus on the practices which will help you, right? So you can, as you're repeating, observe how far it is going. Okay. Now, obviously, what I'm going to do is, when we do our yoga practice, we all think of all of us within ourselves. So we develop what is called our group awareness, group consciousness. And in the group consciousness, as we do this, we will be, some of us who are very sensitive, you will feel it. As once it starts going to the top of the head, then we'll stop the repetition and go to the next chakra. So the next chakra, behind the pubic area, is Vam. Okay? So let's start this practice. Sit up comfortably. Focus at the perineum. Keep the eyes closed. As you squeeze at the perineum, we'll do the sound Lam. Take a deep breath. Lam. Another breath. Lam. Another breath. Lum. Again. Lum. Again. Lum. Last time. Lum. I suspect quite a many of you would have felt how with each lum the vibration was going higher and higher, right? So the thing is, now we go to the 1 inch above the perineum, behind the Swadhisthana chakra, and there we do Vam. So focus over there, close your eyes, take a deep breath in. Vam. You can mentally try squeezing from front to back as you do this. Take another breath. Vam. Vam. Another breath. Vam. 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 Continue. Vam. Continue. Vam. Last time. Vam. Bring your awareness behind the navel, and as you draw in the navel, as you exhale, you do Ram, and you're focused right in the middle of the body behind the navel. Take a deep breath. Ram. 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 Take another slow breath. Ram. Feel the belly go in. Take another breath. Ram. Again. Ram. Ram. Again. Ram. 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 Let's do one last breath together. Take a deep breath in. Ram. Bring the awareness in the middle of the chest, in between the breasts, and here we do yum. So close your eyes, take a deep breath in. Yum. 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 Let's take one last deep breath and do yum. Take a breath. Yum. Bring the awareness to the throat, and here we do hum. So close your eyes, focusing at the throat. Take a deep breath in. Hum. 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 Last breath together. Take a deep breath in. Hum. Middle of the head, we do chum. Close your eyes, take a deep breath in. Chum. 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 Let's do one last time all together. Take a deep breath in now. Chum. Bring the awareness to the top of the middle of the head, and there we do Om. So close your eyes, take a deep breath in. Om. Om. Om.
Last time, all of us together, take a deep breath. Keep your eyes closed. Observe within yourself. All of you took the time to observe how you felt in your body and mind before you did this chakra vibration. And now observe how you're feeling. You should feel a lightness within, like the head is empty, no thoughts. Fully, the body and mind is in a relaxed state. Now, of course, there are various types of meditation practices you can do. One very simple type that all of you here can try as you continue to observe within with your eyes closed. Mentally visualize you're hearing a silent vibration within yourself. No specific part of the body. You're just like music you're hearing, you feel it within yourself. And that vibration is 3 syllables. Haim Im Om, Haim Im Om, Haim Im Om, Haim Im Om. Just keep mentally vibrating within you. Now, mentally affirm to yourself, may I be guided to fulfill the purpose for which I have come into this body. May I find my swadharma.
Okay. Now we have 15 minutes left. So I wanted to complete the practice segments. Devji was asking me, how am I going to present? So I told him, I don't know. Till I am in front of you, it flows on its own. So you can all feel the lightness, how with these very simple practices. And the purpose of all of this is to build self-awareness within. So your inner sense is guiding you what you should be doing, right? So now let's understand how these practices help you in cardiorespiratory health. In fact, it even goes beyond that. But for instance, when people talk of lot of people as they age, they have hypertension. In fact, some of them only get it at an older age, but others start getting it even from a middle age, they start getting hypertension. Now, from a physiological perspective, if you talk to a doctor, they will tell you that there are three drivers of blood pressure in your body. One is your nervous system, the other is the receptors, they call it the baroreceptors that are looking for enough blood to go to the brain. And the third one is the amount, they call it as chemoreceptors, the amount of oxygen carbon dioxide balance in the blood. So all of these, when there is not enough oxygen, the brain wants more coming to the brain, it will increase the blood pressure because the brain is the controller of everything. So just like when a company is closing, who is the last person who is ever fired? It is the CEO. Until everybody else is gone, the CEO cannot be fired, right? So the same way the brain is the one providing the energy for the entire system. So it has the first claimant for all the oxygen and glucose in your body. It has been estimated that when you're in a relaxed state like this, 20% of your blood is going to your brain, to your head. Now, when you're doing any focused kind of activity, about 50% of the blood is going to your brain. Now, on the other hand, when people are in panic mode, it is even more. So if there is, and so that is where, how does the brain get more blood? Typically by increasing the blood pressure. This is why when the doctor takes your blood pressure, they say we should always look at the resting blood pressure. Because if you are walking up and down and take the blood pressure, obviously there is more work, the blood pressure will increase, right? So in the nerve compact, the nerve element that causes the blood pressure issue, it can actually give you high blood pressure or low blood pressure. And typically related to the nerve control, where I've seen in very rare and few cases is when people have bad posture. When the posture is not good, it can lead to that. Now, another place where people can get high blood pressure is because they're not sleeping well. If they sleep well and get enough sleep, blood pressure becomes normal after that. Now, as an aging process, our blood vessels are narrowing, what is called atherosclerosis, right? As a result of that, what happens is it takes more pressure for the blood to go in enough quantity to the brain, so there's a tendency for the blood pressure to increase. And the key problem is right in the neck area, you have what are called the baroreceptors. Actually, it's also there in another part of the body in the aortic arch. But this is the one that is looking for enough blood going to the brain. So when it finds that the carotid arteries have become narrower, then in which case it wants to push the blood faster up, so it increases the blood pressure, right? So that is why, as part of our daily thing, we also do a lot of neck exercises in our daily for older population. So when you do the neck exercises, shoulder rotation, they actually loosen the carotid area. So the blood pressure is also helpful over there. Now, very often people are talking of high blood pressure and less often of low blood pressure. But even among high blood pressure, something that is not carefully parsed out for people to think about is if you have respiratory related issues, then the lower number, the diastolic blood pressure, will typically tend to remain slightly higher. Normally, you want about 50, point difference. They measure in the blood pressure. You want about 50 different, close to 50. But for people who have respiratory thing, you'll find that their systolic blood pressure may look 120, whereas the diastolic may look 85. Right? So what happens is this kind of thing, when the breathing element, when the lung is not working well, if this respiratory issue becomes long term, it means the lung is not processing deoxygenated blood fast enough. And eventually it can lead to a condition called heart failure because the heart has to work harder, right? So it is very important to make sure you're breathing well. And anytime you feel tiredness because you're not breathing well, just make sure that it is not because of something related to the lungs. And in various things that we have tested, we have found that particularly for older people who are calm and peaceful, if their breath is compromised, even if they use like for 30 minutes a day, like double concentration of oxygen, normal air has about 21% oxygen when you breathe in, right? The balance mostly is nitrogen and other things, right? So if you can increase the concentration of oxygen from 21% to say 45% or 55%, and you do it for 30 minutes once a day, for particularly older people, it rejuvenates them completely. I do that for my mother. And in fact, what happens is more often from a conventional medical perspective, when they see people are not doing, they want to put in more steroids and all of that. But in fact, using 30 minutes of this oxygen, this thing, a concentrated oxygen concentration, just for 30 minutes a day, provides much bigger benefits and doesn't have the, you never want to mess with body's normal system, but these are all, things, and probably does less damage than steroids going into you. Anyway, so the last part, so the correlation between respiratory health and cardiac health is something that we need to recognize. And the third thing is the role of lipids and the metabolic syndrome, where anytime if you have diabetes and if the sugar remains high, then your blood becomes more acidic and the walls of the blood vessels begin to crack. And that is why you have plaques and things coming on. And that's why people who are diabetic, they say they are always prone towards cardiac ill health. So that's why to prevent that, they do so many other things, right? So the good way, but in all of these practices, if you use the lifestyle element of observing within yourself, you will begin to find that you will be eating better, you will be exercising a little bit and all of that, and that will help you to reduce the lipids as well. In some cases, because of hereditary factors, you may not be able to do it. You may need the medications to control the cholesterol and all of that. But wherever possible, simply by the lifestyle, you can do that. The chakra vibration we did is something, and the meditative practices that can restore many of these problems that have come. So a key element of all of these practices that we do, chakra vibrations, meditative practices, the role of mantras. We use extensively lot of mantras, and the mantras are effective for cardiac health issues, for autoimmune conditions, and many other conditions. We have been testing for Parkinson's disease, and we are now even testing for this prostate, enlargement. whether mantras can this thing. So each one, as we test and find in more people, we make it more available for everyone, right? So right now we are testing many of these. So as I said, the zone of mantras vibration is also relevant for immune-related autoimmune conditions. And so here in closing, the thoughts that you have for yourself about all the practices that we are doing is first, by learning to have a self-awareness approach and with these practices, first thing you do is you reduce the demand on your system. All of you experienced over here how calm you became. All the thoughts from your mind went away when you after the chakra vibration, right? So that reduces the demand on your system because you become mind is calmer. Next one is the neck related exercise I mentioned. We didn't do them, but those are important for blood flow to go to the brain. And of course, good breathing also helps, right? And then to be the improving the nerve and brain response comes from the spinal practice as well as the Ujjayi practice. Improved vitality comes from the Bhastrika practice with more deep breathing. And then finding your inner connection is the learning to be an observer and to develop self-awareness. The chakra vibrations come as good practice for you. Now, what was yes, the importance of self-awareness I've already mentioned. So I'm going to skip over here. It not only guides you what you should be doing, but it also helps with your sleep. By the way, those of you who have been doing with us the last 4 years regularly this evening practice chair yoga, popularly what our senior citizens have said is their sleep quality has improved significantly. And some of you raised your hands over here about not sleeping well. That will be as you do it every day. After about 3 weeks of regular practice, you will start seeing your sleep improving. And the other thing they have said is vitality improves, you have more energy. And the third thing that they said is that the body pains and things start reducing, right? And so all of them together, it brings harmony within yourself. And even as senior citizens, like the primary example here is Devji over here. Dev Mahajan, he is, even though he is 88 years old, you can see how active he is with so many other things, you know, with Arya Samaj and so many other activities that he has been involved in. So that way, you find what makes you happy, you do it. Now, everyone won't be like him. You see, since I know him so well, we say his prakriti is pitta prakriti. If he sits quietly, he will have problems. He has to be active. But some of you who may have the kapha prakriti, for you it may not be necessary to be active like him. You'll be in a quieter way, meditative and all of that. So each person according to what is right for you. And then I've already made the point, self-awareness is something you have to cultivate in this age by daily practice, whereas for a newborn child, self-awareness is natural. When they are young, children have a lot of self-awareness, but as they grow, the mind becomes more active, distracted by everything you see around in the world, right? So again, yoga is not a set of exercises, but rather any practice that induces awareness within. That is what we would call as yoga practice. And we have already spoken about all of these lifestyle elements and including taking time in the morning to be a pure observer. That is what helps you to bring your self-awareness, work on you. And I've said about the morning and evening practices that we do. All of you are welcome. And once you feel you want to also be a lead over there and teacher, let me know. You can also lead some of the sessions. And we also have a book which we have published, and that has a lot of the things explained over here. This is Devji's copy, and you can buy it on Amazon. And Devji actually, Sushmaji suggested we should bring this book along. This has been written by a physician, Richard Gerber. And the title of the book is Vibrational Medicine. Very few people realize that our entire body communicates the biochemical reactions underlying that is vibrations. And in fact, that is the reason when they talk about what happens when you make sounds or whatever, how they interact within, all of them are vibration. Vibration is the basis of communication. When your mobile phones operate, it is vibration that is carrying the waves, right? Within us too, that's how the trillions of cells are communicating. So the reason we mention this is that a lot of people have this thing, oh, yoga is about asana and pranayama. Where is all this vibration? And so we have to remind them again, being in this kind of a thing. Have you ever heard of Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga, and all the elements of it? Yoga is one. Hatha Yoga is only a small segment of yoga. The real yoga is building that self-awareness, and whoever you are, connecting with your spiritual being and beyond. That yoga is what is the real yoga. So with that, I will close here, and it's noon. But if you have any questions, let's take 5 minutes before for any questions. 1 second. I think we had the microphone. No, you took it back. If anybody, yeah, go ahead.
Do you have a possibility of getting a copy of this presentation?
Oh, no problem at all. I will just give it to Devji, and he can circulate it to you. No problem.
If you have electronic, they can probably.
Yeah, but it is, but after all, a PowerPoint document. To convert it to PDF and load it on the website is no problem.
That would help a lot because then we don't want to take 200 pictures.
No problem. No problem.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
What is the website that we check the morning and evening practices?
Oh, Devji, card? Okay. So anybody who wants to come for morning and evening this thing, there is, you can, actually let's do the following. You can pass this down the row. Anybody who wants to join this thing, the website links are all over there. Okay, you can pass it down. And I have more copies of that in the car. We can bring it. No, we are out over here. Anybody, you can contact Devji. Actually, I'll go and get more copies before you leave. You'll be here for lunch, most of you, right? So I'll get more of them in the car and I'll pull it out. You're welcome. Yes, question.
Thank you very much, Rajanji. I came to know Rajanji about 6 years ago, and that I was in bad shape. And after meeting and following his instructions, it completely changed my life. So every time he comes to Houston, I make sure that something I arrange in the Arya Smart so that more and more people could make use of his yoga techniques. In order to even bring you here, I had to share my personal story with some people so they get encouraged and call other people to bring them here. So please, one simple instruction is that the evening classes, since we met and COVID started classes during COVID, we 95% of the time, both Sushma and I attend those classes. So my request to you is, please, please, please join the evening classes, and those who are more interested in Hatha Yoga, they can do the morning classes. Again, thank you very much. Bhojan is ready. And do you still have some question if we could want to?
People have been asking that second book. showed two books. Which was the second one?
Vibration.
Medicine by Richard Gerber. Because a lot of people don't believe until you show physician, and that too Western physician, then they believe, yeah, vibration works.
Okay, there were some questions here. So what was the question you were trying to ask me?
Oh, on the chakra, on the from bottom, second and third, where do you concentrate?
Yeah, you concentrate, bottom is the perineum. The next one is 1 inch above the perineum, which will literally be behind, in front of the sacrum bone and behind the place where you urinate. It'll be behind
So you
there.
concentrate on the front or the back?
Middle,
Middle in the body.
yeah, middle of the body.
And the third one?
Third one is behind the navel, in the middle of the body. You were asking a question. Oh, yes, that's fine. Yeah. Yes, exhaling through the teeth.
Oh,
Obviously.
I was wondering whether today's session, which was excellent, whether it was recorded and if it can be made available to people who could not attend today.
Yes, but 1 second. So that is somebody where they will answer that question. Right here, well, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, just like breathing, you have to start from the right.
Okay. Here is a question. Say that again.
I just wanted to ask, when you do the breathing exercise, is it important to start from the right? Or do you always start from the right?
Okay. This is specific to the alternate nostril breathing. Okay. What happens is the textbook understanding is that people are generally going to be a little stressed working with life. So the de-stressing mechanism is you always begin by inhalation through the left nostril. Okay? Because the right brain is the creative brain, your inner being. The left brain is your logical brain that controls the right side of the body, right? So you want to activate your creative side. Inhalation activates and exhalation relaxes. So that is the conventional, you begin with the left. Okay? Yes.
So anywhere, can I get the help for my frozen shoulder? Any of these?
Question was, where the gentleman asked whether we have a way to overcome the frozen shoulder. And the answer is very simple. That is, if you join our daily session, over a period of time, it will recover. If you still need any additional help, Abhay Jain, Hemaji, Sushma Mahajan, yeah, ask them and they can individually consult with you. But if you do the daily session, you'll find it will get taken care of. No, in Zoom, that is the online, that card you have in your pocket. Yeah, that will, you come join the session and that will get taken care of. Yes.
Just watching your breath is a meditation.
Okay, walking breath,
No, watching your breath.
watching your breath.
Yeah, is a meditation.
Okay. The question asked is, if you are simply watching your breath, is that meditation? Actually, from our yoga perspective, what is commonly called meditation could be one of four things. When you feel deeply relaxed and you're aware within, that is a state called pratyahar. You're feeling the vibration within. The next state is what it calls dharana. That is, the mind is focused on one thing like the breath. Then the third thing is called dhyana. Dhyan means the mind is no longer thinking, you're not even aware of the breath. And then it's not wisdom. And then the next level is samadhi. So when you have samadhi, that is when you connect with the higher principle. Okay? So if you're doing just watching your breath, you're doing what we would call as dharana. It is not the dhyana or the samadhi. Okay? So in the modern research literature, what they have done is they call it as mindfulness meditation. The mind is watching something like the breath.
Mindfulness meditation is a good technique to begin with, but eventually you want to transcend beyond the mind. And so for that, you need to go into dhyana and samadhi. Okay, so that will be the higher meditation. Namaste ji. Huh?
Let them know it's going to be an RS Mark Houston channel recording.
Okay, you